vremena i trenutačno u svijetu, čovjek koji je K1 prvak, Grand Prix prvak, Dream šampion, Strikeforcea šampion i danas contender u UFC-u, Alistair the Reem Overeem. Prije nego što krenemo, moram se zahvaliti ATT-ju, American Top Teamu, koji nam je omogućio da Overeema dovedemo na sat vremena prije seminara, s obzirom da ATT slavi 4. godinu postojanja, onda su kao specijalno iznenađenje dofurali ovdje Overeema da održi seminar. I evo, Dražen Forgać-Forgi i Saša Drobac su me spojili sa Overeemom i evo Overeema ovdje. Prava poslastica, zar ne? Alistair, welcome to the Podcast Inkubator and thank you for doing this.
Thanks for having me, man.
Well, we talked for 1 hour, so we are basically friends, right?
We're buddies.
We can speak openly. You're not doing this for the money. You're here in Zagreb. I already told people in Croatian that you are doing seminar here, but like you told me before, you're not doing it for the money. You are one of the best paid athletes in UFC. Why do you do it? I mean, between the fights, you often travel. What do you see in this kind of...
Well, okay, so training camp is very strict. Training, eating, sleeping. It's... Yeah, I like my sport. I love my sport, but it is repetitive. And I think for me, you know, these trips going to back to Zagreb, I was here before, but it's great to be back here. You make friends everywhere where I go in the world, so it's good to see them again. I like to travel, love to travel. I like to see new things, do new stuff. So I also like to do appearances in new countries. I have a list of places I want to go.
Wow.
And I will go there, right? You just have to schedule, you have to organize it. But to me, I don't know, I like to mix it up. Otherwise, it's only the same place. I like to see the whole world. And after the fight, you can do that. So after the fight, before the fight, of course, I'm always focus mode. But then after the fight, there's a time for relaxation, and that is now.
And it's smart thing that you are planning to have a career as a trainer, as somebody who is teaching other people martial arts after you finish your career, and this is smart. You know, you are like getting into it, right?
I was always occupied with what I would do when my fight career is finished, what my life would look like, and I don't know, I just love to teach. I did it for years without getting paid. Now I do it, yes, just seminars so people pay something, but I don't know, I like to teach. I like to be on the mat. I like to, of course, I've been training myself for 26 years, so a lot of knowledge is there. And I don't know, I like to be occupied thinking how to improve fighters, fight stance. So to me, it comes very natural, very normal.
But this is not your first time in Zagreb or in Croatia. You are our guest on our coast during the summer. You told me before that you were on Ultra in Split. You're planning to go to Dubrovnik. What can you say about Croatian people and hospitality here? Do you feel well here? Is it okay?
I feel very welcome here every time I come. A lot of love, a lot of support. So I don't know. I think Croatians love fighters, right?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think we can say that. So a lot of support coming from here, and I just really like to come here, especially in the summer. Winters it's like a little bit Holland, right? It's like gray, miserable weather, but in the summer it's one of the best places in the world. And everywhere I go, I tell people. You know,
thank you. You're our ambassador, right?
When I'm in America, I'm always talking about Croatia, the coast. It's like because Split and Dubrovnik are beautiful cities, right?
Yeah.
I think these cities are 2,000 years old. Split is it's still in the same state. And for Americans, they've never experienced this. A lot of Americans, they don't really travel outside, or they go to the Caribbean. But I always say, go to Croatia, go to Europe, go to Dubrovnik, go to Split. I like other places in the world as well. Japan is great. Thailand is great. Holland, of course, I'm from Holland, is great. But Split has a special place. Okay,
where do you plan to stick around when you finish your career? You told me that you also plan to go to different places, not just be in one base, right?
No, well, I'm so used to traveling all over the world the last 20 years. So I'm thinking I will do this but in lesser form, because of course I will have family and life will slow down. But I'm thinking summers in Holland. My main home is there. Family is there, friends are there, so we'll keep that. I'm thinking the majority of the time in Thailand. Oh, yeah, I just really like it there. And then maybe a little bit USA. Keep USA a little bit in there.
now your some kind of base is Denver, right, in Colorado.
Yeah.
You switched camps maybe 6 months ago, 1 year ago. What?
No, it's been 10 months ago that I
10 months
switched.
ago, sorry, yeah.
Team Elevation now.
Can you
So
talk
I went-
about a little bit about that, about switching camps from Albuquerque? Because you know, people in MMA community consider Greg Jackson in Albuquerque maybe the best trainer in the world, but you know, you left and now you're part of Denver team.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Jackson's MMA is a good team. I've been training 26 years, so in 26 years I don't have to change. I don't have to change teams, but if I want to grow my career, my craft, my techniques, I must do it. And I was thinking, okay, I'm 37 at the time, 38. I can still do it. I can still change because it costs energy, right? You have to go to a new group, you have to meet new people, make new friends, you have to figure it out again. And I was like, you know what, I can still do it, I'm going to do it. First, of course, you have to know where you're going to go. So I was doing some research. I went to Denver, I checked out the team, and I liked what was going on there. So for me, it was a very easy decision to do it.
Yeah, and
after I visited there, because of course, before you go there, you're not going to make such a big decision. But I went there because you can also make a decision to go wrong.
Yeah.
And we've also experienced that. When I went to, for example, Black Zillions, was for me a very wrong decision.
In Florida, right?
Yeah, I was there, but too short to make a good decision. And I went there, and it was a big operation to move there, and it was a bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but moving to Denver was good, right? Now you have 2 victories in a row, 2 big victories, 2 KOs.
Yeah.
You seem like a new fighter.
Yeah.
What changed?
The focus has been on that, new strategies, new Alistair basically. Yeah. And I've been putting in a lot of hours to achieve that with the new team. The new team is great. A lot of chemistry between us. That chemistry, I was missing that in Albuquerque with the team there. So I see good things for myself, for my career.
Yeah, you like Denver, obviously, and Bojan Veličković, your new friend from Elevation team, was here on this sofa maybe 2 months ago, and he said a lot of nice things about you. He said that he never dreamed that you will be such a professional as you are, keen to to learn new things, and you guys get along obviously pretty well, right?
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I always call him the Serbian terror. Great Serbian terror, I call him always, and we're always joking around, and he's a good energy guy. And I have to say that about the whole team. The whole team is good energy people. I think I'm a little bit like a mirror like that. I mean, if people are cool and nice, I am nice. And if people are not nice, then they see a different side of me. I have to say, Team Elevation, all good people, and they got the best Alistair in return. Yeah,
did Serbians really start the First World War, as you are telling to Bojan? Because he was telling us the story and he was laughing, it was funny.
Yeah, he brought up the fact.
Because you are sort of interested in history, right? Yeah. You are studying it, you're reading books. It's nice to know that.
So he brought up the fact that actually it was a Bosnian who fired the gun.
Yeah.
And so that was the assassination on was it Franz Joseph Ferdinand?
Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah, Franz Ferdinand. But of course, that's not the only thing that happened. More things happened.
Yeah.
More things happened.
Yeah.
It was also that Serbia did not want to cooperate with Austria, right? And the armies were mobilized, and the Russian army was mobilized. So we were having these discussions, and I actually know a lot about the subject. Very interested, because it's 100 years ago now, a little bit over 100 years, but that shaped our modern times right now. What happened 100 years ago,
definitely.
Because before it was just a different time. It was a very different time compared to now.
Is it something that you do during your free time? You study history and read books?
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about it? Because it's strange, people, you are the Demolition Man, Overeem, the Reem, and you are reading history. When Bojan told us that, we were like, "Oh, shit, we didn't know that."
I think it's. I'm just very curious about life, and I'm very curious about how things materialized into today, because today, and it has actually changed again in the last, I would say, 10 years with social media and with the freedoms that we have, and people are becoming a little bit more soft and a little bit more. Yeah, and probably in 50 years or 100 years, they'll look back at our times for like, well, what the hell are we doing right now? And at my profession, that guy was crazy going in there. So but we look back at those people 100 years ago, because 100 years ago those wars were terrible, right? Just running into your death and this and that. So we are now thinking about those people. Those people are crazy. So that's always 100 years later. You look back and it's like, how did they do it? So that I think that's really a fascination. That is making me travel, it's making me read. I'm just very interested in those things.
Bojan is fighting this weekend. Yeah. He starts a new PFL tournament. What can you tell us about his chances in welterweight tournament? He can win $1 million.
So he has to do 4 fights or 5?
I think four fights.
Yeah, so it's going to be very exciting for him. I know the team is really good in Denver, so they'll be preparing the best team can. I'm not too familiar with his bracket and his opponents.
Oh, okay.
Because I just don't know who's with the PFL, but let's hope he gets far this time.
Yeah, but it's interesting, the tournament. When PFL started, I thought to myself, tournament in 2018, what the fuck? And then, when it started and going forward, I said to myself, wow, this is good new concept. I liked it. Yeah. Did you like it?
I like it because, so first of all, in the beginning, indeed, PFL, what is PFL? You don't know what it is, and then they're organizing this, they're organizing that. Probably you think, there's nothing, but now it has been there one time, and it builds up towards the finals. So in the end of the year is the final, and it actually is exciting, right? We had Josh Copeland and then Bojan in the PFL, so we were following their progression, and Copeland was actually fighting for the 1 million. He lost, right? He got, I think, 300,000 or something like this. So still a good amount, right, for a finalist. So I think the tournament, you follow the progression, you have the climax, the final, but even if you lose, I remember it from the old K1 days, tournaments don't have losers. They only have the one big winner and the rest doesn't matter. Right? So that's the good thing, the great thing about tournaments. It doesn't really have losers. Yeah. If you lose in the second round, people are just focusing on the winners, so you don't really see the losers.
Yeah, that's true, actually, that's true.
Even though it is a loss, but you don't, and there was back in the K1, like, I was third place in 2009, and then 2010 I won it. And it was just, everyone, it was euphoric. It was a great evening, it was a great night. And then in 2010 I was the champion, so then it was even better, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I can imagine if you're third in the tournament and then the next tournament you're 5th or 6th, that's not good, right? That will make you a little bit happy.
It sounds like tournament sounds like a party, I do a tournament, it's not a match, I do a tournament. So if I lose, it doesn't matter, man, I was in a tournament.
It's a big happening.
Cool,
It's a big happening.
I agree with you. I didn't think about it like that, but it's true.
In 2009 I lost to Badr, Hari.
I remember.
But then he lost to Semi Shield, who was a teammate. So he still had a little bit of the victory. Yeah. So that's what tournaments do. Tournaments give everybody a little something.
You also lost in the match with Curtis Blades, but now you are good friends, you train together. Can you tell us something about that experience? Because it's strange to hear, somebody getting KO'd from somebody else and then train with him. That's, you have to be a big man to do it, right? Just to recognize that, maybe it's good to train with him to get better.
Yeah, well, I don't have a problem with that. We were actually talking a little bit before about training together and seeing what was going on, and then our fight got announced. We stopped talking. He won clearly, and then after the fight, I still had the stitches in my forehead. I just shot him a text and like, "Hey, I'm going to be in Denver in 2 weeks. Shall I come by?" And he responded very nice, very gentleman. "Oh yeah, sure, I'm going to be there." And I have to say, he's very humble. He's a good guy. I was very impressed that trip with the team, because I didn't know about anything Denver. But I did know that I was not happy in Albuquerque. The chemistry was not right. I felt I was on a standing still or in a decline, actually. That's like the same. And then, I had 2 losses also, so something had to change. And then in Denver, I really got, with every session I did, I was there 2 or 3 sessions. Every session I did, I got motivated and inspired. So to me, it was clear after 2-3 days, I was like, this is where I need to be.
Wow.
The team was great. I felt it from the coaches. They didn't really, because I didn't know the coaches. They didn't really talk with me. It was not like hey, you should, but I was just in their training, and I was just really impressed. So from that, I just flew to Albuquerque, shook their hands, told them that I was going to make the move. I didn't even talk with the coaches in Denver, so I still needed to do that. But for me, it was clear that I seen something different, and I didn't get motivated with the old team anymore. It was just finished. So I just went all in the new team. I went back to Holland. A couple weeks later, went to Denver, and just stayed till I got the fight announcement, which was November Pavlovich, which went really well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We were in the new team in Denver, great city, putting in the work with good results. And in the end, as a fighter, as an athlete, to me that matters most.
Okay, you said that the chemistry in Albuquerque was not that well anymore, not that good. Did the whole situation with John Jones affect that? Because last few years everybody talking about John Jones and his problems, and actually Greg Jackson, Jackson Wink Academy is not doing that well in results. If you see their result, Dodson on the way down, Holly Holm getting more losses than victories. All the big names are not doing that great anymore. Did this whole thing with John Jones just affect this team on a badly way or whatever?
What happened with John Jones?
I don't know. Man, in the last 3 or 4 years, he's just getting some scandals, with.
I don't think it's John Jones' fault.
It's not John Jones.
No, because John Jones is just doing his thing. He's part of the team, and I don't think that his actions influence any other fighter results.
Okay.
But I just think that it has to do with the whole package.
Yeah.
And I don't want to talk bad about Jackson because I also had good times there.
Okay.
And we have a very good relationship. So I don't know. I really could not really directly say why they had more those losses, but I can talk about myself. My chemistry with the team was not working. And for me, it was very clear after I was in a new environment, even if it was 48 hours, I got hungry again. And that was actually what I was looking for. So for me, it was clear. I didn't even go to other gyms. I just, boom, I feel good here, and I'm going to make the change. And other fighters, I don't know, because some other fighters also left Jackson's, right? Under Orlovsky left.
Yeah, Cerrone.
He left after a couple losses also, so apparently for him it was also not working. Who
Cerrone.
else? Donald Cerrone, yeah, but he was having his own gym anyway.
Yeah.
So he was already, he just came to the Jackson's MMA like 1 or 2 times a week. So there's been some changes.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about this good moment in your career in UFC. You have 2 victories, 2 big victories, but before that I have to ask you, when I think about your career that's so long, I think about 3 different parts, like Pride part when you were in light heavyweight division, then this transition time that when you were getting all these titles, Strikeforcea, Dream, K1 Grand Prix, and then you were the biggest name outside of the UFC and everybody was just waiting you to sign to the UFC, and now UFC phase. When you look at your history, your career, do you look at it like 3 different parts, like it was some other life? Because when I look at my life 10 or 15 years ago, I wonder if that was also me. You understand what I'm...
Well, it was also even the time before you, before Pride.
Yeah,
right?
it was Europe part, with Glory and stuff like that.
Rings Japan, so there was a little bit Japan in there, but also to handle,
Showtime,
I remember, So, it's been a crazy ride, I can tell you, a crazy adventure. But I don't know,
Which part do you like the most?
Well, I mean, every part has its charms, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was not established. Everything was fresh, new. Then Pride was already the big shows. I have very good memories from that time, the Japan time, right? The Overeem time, bulked up time was also great, right? The title time. And then UFC, 2011, 2012, right? Brock Lesnar, Mark Hunt again, Verdum, all these big names, JDS, Junior Dos Santos. So we had, every time has its ups and its downs. In general, I take really good care of myself so we can just keep going, right? A lot of injury prevention And yeah, it's been a crazy adventure, like I said. But I don't know. I've been born for it, I think, because like the regular office job, I cannot do that. I realized this very early. I can't. So I guess I was built for this, and I put my heart and soul in it.
Here in Croatia, people just love old Pride days. I don't know why. Maybe because of Mirko Krokap, of course. But people love Pride. Do you miss it? Do you miss the chemistry of Pride? It had something special, you know, all the production, Crazy Lady, and everything. It was crazy time, right?
It was awesome, and you know, Japan has a certain mystique to it, and I think Pride was also that. It had a certain mystique to it. You didn't fully understand. It was different, but it was cool. And from the opening to the, but you know, Pride was also unsustainable because it's no longer here anymore. And I think that the gentlemen in the UFC have done a tremendous job in getting the talent from Pride, putting it in the UFC and growing the UFC, because the UFC now is really well established and maybe 1,000 times bigger than Pride, because Pride was beautiful, but it was still small, right? It was still local, basically, and UFC is now all in the world. And it will continue to grow because you have China coming in with all their people. You have India coming. Yeah. You got the first, I think, 2 African champions, so that's like a huge market. So that will continue to grow, and I think UFC is really the way forward.
Are you surprised that K1 never, you know, stuck around? Actually, it was really big. 70,000-80,000 people were there in Saitama Super Arena. Matches between you and Badr Hari, Semi Shield, Mirko Krokap, whatever. This was at the time the biggest show in the world. What happened? What do you think happened? Why kickboxing cannot get to the stage that was before?
Well, I think you must understand why it became that big in the first place. Kickboxing became big because it was K1 and Pride versus each other. And basically it was Fuji TV versus TBS.
Okay. I didn't know that.
The television channels were competing with, I think Fuji had K1 and TBS had Pride. And they were throwing the millions in the promotion and in the big arenas and in this and that, because the owner of TBS and the owner of Fuji, 2 old gentlemen, I'm going to beat you at this, we're going to beat you at that. So they were having the war. And that came through Pride and K1. And eventually, so if you have, because in Japan is a big market, 120 million people. If you have, I mean, 20%, it was going 20%, 30%, 40% ratings. It was huge. Yeah. And it was a hype back then. A hype in the sense of, let's see who is the best fighter in the world. Now it's a different time. We already know that who is the best fighter. Right now it has to become a sport. It has to become more mainstream. And I think in K1 they failed to do it. They failed to make the jump. So we can be very thankful to the UFC that they are clever business-minded people that are actually doing it, because otherwise MMA would also kind of, it would already be gone, because Pride is gone and Dream is, right, you have Ryzen now. Yeah,
Ryzen, yeah.
So, yeah.
But I'm sad actually that, you know, K1 is not around, because Glory is okay, but it never got to the heights of K1. I don't know why.
I think in America, people have the ability to think business-minded worldwide, to create a worldwide brand. And I think in Japan, they don't have that ability. And in Japan, they don't sell or cooperate with Americans to do it. So, and the UFC, the UFC was already doing it, obviously. So, yeah, it's very interesting to see the origins of the sport, because the sport is young. There's some forms of arts which are very old, but UFC is young, right? 93 they founded, and now they're huge, fastest growing sport. And it is a shame that it didn't happen with kickboxing or K1.
Yeah, what happened? Why Glory is not does not have a success that everybody thought?
Well, they have a couple of problems. I think their main problem is they don't have talents. Because you have Badr, you have Rico Verhoeven now, but besides them, nobody really. And the heavyweight division is thin. It's maybe 5, 6 more people and then it's finished. How can you make a Grand Prix with 6 fighters? Yeah. right? The best of the world. There's only 6.
You're right.
Because nobody else does it or cares about it. So you can't sell it anymore as the best in the world. Whereas UFC you have a top 20 heavyweights, and then there's more. But at least you have a top 20, and those guys are fighting. In the top 20, there's, I would say, 5 or 6 elite guys, right? But in Glory, it's only 6 guys total, and Rico and Bud are the elite guys. So it's not a competition, because if you're going to watch something, you must have something exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Real fighters, real contestants. If it's always the same guy, it's boring.
I agree.
It's like,
I agree.
oh, here we go again.
I don't know why they let go, like guys like Gohan Saki or Tyron Spong or Daniel Gitsa. These guys were top heavyweight fighters, and they let them go because of some contract issues. But man, these are the stars. They should have kept them, because these are the stars.
But they were paying them, I think, a little bit too much.
Too much? Okay.
Yeah, because your business model, you must have, if your fighters is too much,
yeah, I understand.
then it doesn't work, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They were cutting back on the costs.
Ah, okay.
That's why they had to let them go.
Yeah.
I think, I understand.
Yeah, hopefully
But
they'll grow.
it is a shame. Yeah,
because it's a shame, man.
It is a shame, because yeah, those fighters were exciting, right?
Yeah,
Saki is
definitely.
exciting. Yeah, all those guys are exciting.
Their first Grand Prix, it was in Japan, I think that.
2012,
yeah.
yeah.
Semi Shield and guys.
Everybody was in.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
But when we talk about your UFC career, we can see 2 different parts. The first part, when you were going forward, being the aggressor, and now you are, I think that you are the most strategic guy in the heavyweight division in the world. I think that you pay a lot of attention to tactics, that you look at your opponents, that you study them. Is that true, or this is just my imagination? Because it seems that you are very, very tactical.
Try to be.
Try to be, yeah. What's changed?
You know, I have 90 fights right now.
Yeah.
My first fight was 22 years ago. So you become more clever, I hope.
I hope, yeah.
Yeah. You have to fight clever. You have to use your brain. I mean, if you're just going to go in there to fight, it's not a good idea. So you have to be clever when you go into fights. And I've tried to be clever. I tried to focus on that.
So you grew like a fighter during these years?
100%.
100%.
In the beginning, of course, I was an entirely different fighter. And I'm still growing. I feel that I'm still growing.
Okay, last 2 wins, again, very tactical ones, Sergey Pavlovich, and then especially this one with Olenik. You didn't use your hands at all. I saw you just focusing on your knees. Obviously, it was part of tactics. Can you talk a little bit about these wins, and how much do they mean to you, since you lost, you had a couple of bad losses before that?
Well, for me, fighting is life or death. So, you know, you have 2 bad losses, 2 times you died. You might want to change something, or you're going to keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So, to me, you know, I put the heart and soul into the new camp, and a lot of time with them. And, you know, when I won against Pavlovich, you know, you're happy, you're euphoric. The release, you're happy, you know, it's a first step.
You were very happy. I saw it on your face. I told you
but
before.
of course, when you win, you're happy. Even when I'm not smiling, when I win, I'm happy. Because to me, it's really black or white. When I lose, also, I'm not really super happy till I win again. I've always had that. I don't like to lose. Even if it's a game of poker or whatever, small, want to win. But with the fighting, of course, it's real life and it's a little bit bigger. But yeah, so and then we, you know, after Pavlovich, I went home for 2 weeks, and I liked Denver as much. I just went straight back to Denver, back into the development and becoming a better fighter. So because it was that good. So not much time to celebrate and to go nuts, but I was happy, I have to admit. Of course, it's a confirmation also from the hard work that you put in and the choices that you make.
Definitely. Do you expect that people will consider Pavlovich a favor against you, favorite, because, you know, he's just upcoming fighter, he didn't have any fights in the UFC before that, and they said he's a favor, and then you knocked him out? No, it was strange. I talked to Forgy actually about it, and we were saying, what the fuck, man, how can this guy be a favor against Alistair? Well,
he's a big guy. Yeah, I mean, he had an undefeated record, right?
Yeah.
He was the new up-and-comer. So, Yeah, and then I was coming from 2 losses, so I can kind of see that, right?
Yeah.
People could see, hey, Alistair's finished, he's done, and then you have the new guy, he's knocking everybody out. It's not too strange to me.
Yeah, after these 2 heavy losses, did you consider even a bit, you know, okay, if I lose one more, this is it?
No, I never think like that, but to me it was more like, because I choose to fight, I don't have to fight, plenty of money, don't have to do anything. But I choose to fight, and to me, to prepare for the fights has to be perfect, has to be optimum. So to me, I'm choosing to fight, but with Albuquerque, the chemistry is finished, so I must make some changes there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we did make the changes. Okay,
what can you tell us about the Lenny fight? This guy is obviously very, very strong. He's finishing guys with Ezekiel choke from the mouth. Actually, he's down under, man. And you had great tactics for him. You were also training with him, you were sparring before, so you knew that you were not in jeopardy on the ground. And you had great strategy on the feet, just using your knees. At the end, it paid off, right?
Yep. Yeah, we broke his ribs, I think 3 ribs.
Wow,
crap,
fuck, I didn't know that. 3 ribs.
Yes. And you don't know that during the fight, but after the fight, we know.
With knees?
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, sorry, Alexa. He's a friend of mine, but hey, he came swinging at me, so I had to defend myself.
Yeah, he was swinging. He was swinging.
No, but he yeah, broke a couple ribs. I think also he got a little bit fatigued in the end, and yeah, it was good. I think the knees on the head was good.
Yeah.
Right, the body, we damaged him. And that's my job. That's how I have to do it. I have to take people out. I have to damage them. I have to actually destroy them. So yeah, it was a good game plan. We were ready for 5 rounds. We could have done it for 5 rounds. That would not have been good for him. Because I was in shape. I was in great shape, and I could have gone 5 rounds.
After the fight, you called out Alexander Volkov. Do you have anything against the Russian guys? Because 2 in a row and now 3rd one. I mean, it's a joke, but obviously
no, I was actually already scheduled to fight Volkov. So my training camp, everything was on him. And I like to finish that fight because I was preparing for him. I would beat him also. I was very, very, you know, when you're in the flow, you feel it. And I want to do it. I think he's a dangerous fighter. I think he's an intimidating fighter.
Very tall guy, right?
Very tall, yeah, 6'7" or 6'8",
yeah.
A little bit taller than me. But I was going to take him out, and I still want to take him out. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe he can fight, maybe not. Yeah, I think he has something going on with USADA, maybe.
You have 2 wins in a row. With another one, you'll probably get another title shot. Do you think about it already? Is this your goal at the moment?
Well, my goal is just to keep going in as a development, as a fighter, and then it will come, whatever comes is fine.
Naturally.
So, but after 1 more win, we will start to make noise for the title fight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And, well, you have lost against Ngannou, pretty hard loss. Curtis has 2 losses, so you guys have to revenge this in elevation. Do you have some kind of plan about it? Who will get a first crack at Francis?
I don't know. Well, Curtis lost him twice.
Yeah,
so
twice.
I think it will be me.
You.
That we're going to get a first chance against him. Because yeah, if you lose 2 times to the same guy, then you're not going to...
But I think he was disappointed that he thought that he was early stoppage. Did you talk with him after the fight?
I think so, it was early stoppage.
You also think so?
Because he was not really, right? He was rocked. Mm. But he was not really, he could have continued.
Mm. I think that people, you know, Ngannou is such a big, intimidating guy who hits so hard that, you know, maybe referee was trying to protect him. I don't know, maybe it was like that, I don't know. And it doesn't matter. Okay, we have, finally, we have a title fight, rematch, Stipe Miocic, also Croatian guy, and Daniel Cormier. What can you tell us about that fight? It considers you because obviously you want another crack at the title. Can you do a small analysis for us?
Well, I'm very excited about that fight, very curious as well. I think the first fight nobody expected Cormier to win that easily. it just gives to say that heavyweight fight can be over any moment, right? Any mistake or any mistake forced can finish the fight. So that being said, I don't know. The next fight outcome can be the same, can be different. But that's what I love about the sport, because it's very unpredictable.
Do you think that this whole thing with Brock Lesnar was smart or not? Because they were waiting for Brock Lesnar to return, and then at the end, you know, it was just time wasted. They could have done it earlier, right?
I knew he was not going to return.
You knew?
What is it? He has no business in the UFC.
You fought him?
His last win was against... Shall we go look it up?
Shane Carwin, 2010.
That's 9 years ago.
Yeah.
How can you come from, what is it, 2 losses? Kane, me, then a no contest against Mark Hunt because
it was no contest actually, yeah.
Right? So how can you come from 2 losses and a no contest to fight for title? He has no business in the UFC.
So you thought that he's not going to return, right?
I fought and I was saying he was not going to come back. I already was saying it before he did come back against the Mark Hunt fight. So they kind of quickly got him back, right? Within 3 weeks of the fight, quickly Brock is back. But that was just a trick because I knew he was not going to come back. The competition is too tough, it's too much. And he's older now. When I fought him, he was 37, 36, 37, 38. And now he's, what is he, 43, 44?
I think he's 42, 43, right, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Something like that.
So you're gonna... Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Logical thinking.
When you recall fight with Brock Lesnar, that was at the time biggest fight in MMA. What can you imagine? It was like, you know, Overeem versus Lesnar. It was a dream come true for every UFC fan. What was it like to fight Brock Lesnar? It was actually a pretty easy fight for you, as I recall.
Pretty easy, first round finish. Yeah, it was a different
I think he was
time.
scared, actually. He was scared of the punches of you because he was turning his head away from you. I think he looked scared.
Well, I mean, have you ever fought a fight?
Well, I did a lot of sparring, but not, and not with guys like you, of course not. So I would probably turn away.
Did you ever do a fight with UFC gloves?
Yeah, 2 times 2 sparring, but it's very, very hard.
I have the UFC gloves in the car. If somebody's going to hit you with those gloves, you're not going to just stand there, okay, come on. Yeah. You will react. Yeah. Because it's real danger coming. And, you know, yeah, maybe even I broke some of his ribs, right? Yeah. All those knees kicks. So, and he was in pain, right? Liver kicks. I mean, those strikes mess you up. It hurts. Wrestlers don't like to get hit. That's another thing. Of course, I'm used to it from the K1 days, striking. But, yeah. So I understand that. You
understand. After the fight, I think that he decided this is over for me. I don't want to do it anymore. I remember he
took his soul.
Yeah, you took his soul, and in the locker room he was. I remember this photos of him just, you know, sitting in the locker room, just thinking, okay, why did I do this? This is not for me. I remember that. Who would you rather fight in the fight for the title, heavyweight title, Daniel Cormier or Stipe Miocic? Because you have some unsolved business with Stipe, of course, and maybe if you win this one, and in the meantime, Stipe and Daniel do another fight, the second one, and after that, maybe we'll get a shot. Who would you rather fight?
I don't know. It doesn't matter, actually. I have no beef with Cormier. Stipe I lost to, so that could be a nice rematch. But, I mean, both are great fighters, right? Both are going to be great matchups. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those fights. With the new team. The new team is great. Confidence is real high. So it's gonna you know, it doesn't matter who they put there. It's gonna be a great fight.
Do you have some fighters or some unsolved businesses that you want to take care of before the end of the career? We talked about it a little bit earlier, but can you say now? Obviously, you want another crack at the title. It will. If you do it, it will just, you know, bring your whole career on another level, because you already have 3 titles, 3 big titles.
It's gonna be busy if I win the UFC title. Yeah. So we'll see. My goal is that, but we'll see what happens. Of course, the losses, right? Stipe and Francis.
Yeah, these are the two matches that you want.
Those are the two main ones, and other than that, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because Junior Dos Santos recently called you out. He thinks that he deserves another chance with you. You knocked him out. You think that he deserved it or not?
No, I could see that fight happening as well, right? I mean, the heavyweight division is not deep, so you will face each other again, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm ready for Junior if that time comes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it will be interesting, man, and a lot of upcoming fighters in the heavyweight division in the last, I don't know, they're bringing these Russian guys now, these Brazilian guys. Do you see some talent that you would like to just point out?
Not seeing anybody that super impresses me. I mean, I'm seeing other guys coming up in other weight classes. Right, Hermansen had a really good performance against Jacare.
Yeah.
I like what I'm seeing from Johnny Walker. It's like great performances every time. So there's other guys coming up in the heavyweight. I'm not really seeing it yet. Not yet. But a lot of change. If you look at heavyweight division like 5 years ago, there was just you, maybe Arlovsky, some American guys, and that's it. Now, a lot of guys from Russia, a lot of guys from Brazil, a lot of international guys, even in other divisions. Do you see that UFC is getting more international than before? Of course, and the next generation guys is coming up. I think Volkov is also one of those next generation guys, right? He was not there 10 years ago, he was not there 5 years ago, and all of a sudden he's there. But I think it's fine, right?
Yeah. Do you think that the reason is that the whole world is just getting better than MMA? Even, for example, Forgi here in Zagreb, he has first licensed ATT gym in Europe. And when you have such a knowledge, you're getting better and better. You are just making better fighters. Yeah. So I think
the level is improving every year.
Okay.
Every year, everybody's getting better, and the competition is real. That's what I'm talking about. The difference with Glory Kickboxing, and it's Glory Kickboxing. Nobody's really kickboxing.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? It's not growing. It's actually going down, and but it's also not a multi-dimensional sport like MMA is. You have grappling, you have wrestling, you have striking, you have boxing, you have everything. The kicking, the karate kicks, the strength and conditioning, the food. Everybody is looking to get the edge, find new ways of winning fights, right? Like I said, Johnny Walker, I like to look at him, spinning kicks, weird stuff, new things. I think, what's his name? The grappler, he is Damian Maia. The rear naked stuff that he was doing, getting to the back. So the sport is ever evolving. I think the Caucasian Russians are bringing something very new to the table.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, and that's a development that's great. That's keeping me on my toes looking, but also competing, because I have to up my game too. I have to get better all the time.
But even Bellator is doing great. They had, last year they had good Grand Prix in heavyweight division. They had Ran Bader, who is now heavyweight, Feder, all these guys. It's interesting. It's not boring. So something's going on, going on.
Because there's no rules, fighting without rules. Kickboxing is too much rules. Too much. You can't clinch, you can't do this, that. It's like 3-minute rounds. You don't even need to do cardio training for that. 3 minutes you can just do, it's easy. UFC wrestling, you have to really do the cardio training. 5 rounds of 5 minutes, try it. It's 30 minutes. 30 minutes of fighting.
Crazy. Yeah, crazy.
I think a lot of people can't even go for a jog 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So that's why the sport is specialized, and you have to always look for new ways, new improvements, new surprises. This development, I think, is really important, has been also always really important for me, always getting better, improving.
A lot of guys are going to Bellator because they are not satisfied. Now, some trend is going to one championship, Eddie Alvarez, Dimitri Johnson. Do you have any offers? And did you ever consider leaving UFC? Because you are a huge star in Asia, huge, and one is now going to Japan. Do you have any even consideration about it?
No.
No.
I don't have any consideration into it, and even if I did, I would not discuss it with you.
Okay, it was not like a problem. No, I just wanted to ask you, you know.
But I'm just saying, I don't have any consideration. For me, UFC is number one. Yeah, and that's that.
That's it. Okay, I have to talk to you about Conor McGregor because people will kill me if I don't, because it's like subject number one in all fighting sports. Do you expect him to come back? Do you expect him to be someday again a champion, UFC champion or not? Because at that point, or at this point, it seems like he's not that interested in fighting anymore. It seems like that he earned his money and now he's just enjoying his life. Maybe considering to return, but not that seriously.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think he'll come back.
You think so?
Yeah, I think his motivation changed because he used to be a hungry guy from what is it, Ireland?
Yeah, Dublin.
Yeah, so, but it's changed. When you have, I don't believe it's 100 million, by the way, I think it's more like 50 million. When you have 50 million in the bank, yeah, it's all different, right? Your drive changes. And you can do it a little bit because you like it, but are you really going to go all the way? That's a little bit the question. I think he still has market value. I think he will still fight. And we'll see how long he can keep doing it.
No, were you surprised that he became such a huge star? And you know, he's from Ireland. He's not American. He's not Brazilian. It was actually for me a little bit of surprise.
No, I think he's done a great job for himself.
Okay.
I liked his style up until the Khabib fight. Then I think he went a little bit overboard. And I also think that after the fight, when you lose, in my opinion, you should shut the fuck up and go to the gym and improve and start making noise when you win again. But he's not doing anything, but he's still
vocal. Yeah,
he's still out there, and maybe that's because he's him and he is unique, right? He is unique that way. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Is he gonna come back? I don't know. We'll see. He stays relevant though. He stays in people's minds. I think that's also a little bit his goal. I think he's clever like that. Yeah, that's where I'm a little bit different. I would disappear in the woods, in the mountains. I would disappear to Rocky Mountains, Colorado. I would shut the fuck up and get better and make a comeback, make a real comeback. Conor McGregor, I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, but I think he is entertaining, and I do like to watch his fights.
Yeah, but you were never a big trash talker. It was never a part of your, I don't know, persona, right?
I had some of my moments because sometimes you have to talk a little bit to make a fight happen, right? Actually, when I fought Crow Cup, he did not want to fight, so I had to be a little bit in his face to make the fight happen. And then it happened, and then I didn't have real beef with him, but I had to trigger him because otherwise the fight was not going to happen.
So it was a part of tactics, right?
Yeah.
Just to get
and that
to the
is
fight.
What trash talking is, right? Because how can you not like somebody if you don't know somebody?
Yeah.
Yeah. How can you not like him? So and I think when Conor uses it, he also tries to make you. Doubt yourself.
Uncertain about.
So you become a little bit slower during the fight, or faster, like tension. So that's why I use it. But I just use it to make the fight happen. When the fight had happened, when I see Crow Cup now, we're friendly, we're nice. I mean, there's no bad vibes. I mean, he's not my friend or anything, but it was just pure to make the fight happen. And then who else did I have? It's a couple times it happened, but there was always a reason.
Yeah. When we talk about Crow Cup, he is like the absolute legend here. You can imagine he is like an icon, you know. He ended his career. What can you tell us about it? He's one of the greatest ever that did it.
One of the greats, had a great career, you know, huge in Japan, huge in Croatia, huge in the world, I would say. And I think he's made a really good decision because he's a little bit older than me. I think he's 44 now, 43, 44. So he's 6 years older. I think for him, you know, as a fighter, the question is when to hang up the gloves, when to stop. And he made that decision, and he had a beautiful career, and he consciously made a decision. And I observed that, and I learned from that, because for me, that thing will also come sometimes, and you want to not wait too long, right?
Yeah.
That it's too much. So you want to have it on the right timing. So I'm thinking about it, I'm looking at it, and yeah, he had a great career, why not? Why not enjoy life, right? I mean, he's still training, he's still doing everything.
Yeah. I know we don't have much time, so we'll finish this conversation, this podcast, but before that, I have to ask you, when do you expect to be again in the octagon and fight again? What's the plan?
I'm aiming September, so we'll see what happens. If it's up to me, September. A little bit of a break now. Back in training July, September can fight again.
And Volkov? Or no Volkov?
Yeah, if it's Volkov.
But it's okay.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know, I don't know what my rank is, but I will fight anybody.
Okay, Alistair.
I'll be ready for anybody, and I'll fight anybody.
Thank you for doing this. It's been great talking to you. Hopefully, you'll get again here in podcast sometime when you get here in Zagreb. And do you want to punch the machine bag? It will not go alive after that. If you want to do it,
no.
No, no. Maybe you consider again.
I will watch you punch the bag.
Okay, we can do that. Okay, thank you one more time. Have a nice time here in Zagreb. Hopefully, seminar will go well. It will, I'm sure. And that's it. Thank you.